This is Claire. I'm 46 years old and I need to say something that feels awful to admit. I love my kids, but sometimes I regret becoming a parent. I don't regret them as people. I regret the life I lost in the process. Before kids, I was independent, creative, and felt like my own person. Now my days are logistics, responsibility, and emotional labor that never ends. Even when I get a break, my mind doesn't switch off. I feel guilty for wanting space, guilty for feeling trapped, guilty for even writing this. Everyone tells you parenting is hard, but no one talks about how completely it can erase you. I smile at school events, talk about how busy life is, and nod along when people say it's all worth it. I don't know if that's true for me, and that thought terrifies me. What hurts most is that I can't talk about this without sounding ungrateful or cruel. So I keep it inside and pretend I'm coping better than I am. My question is, how do you live with this feeling without hating yourself for having it? See, I can't relate with this one in terms of I have kids, but I understand the feeling. I know that feeling. That feeling that you're losing this sort of dream life that you have. The way I relate to this is my life is perfect. It's been so great for what feels like such a long time now that any change, any small change, any big change really does actually impact me. It makes me panic in a sense of like, oh my God, now it's all going to crumble. It's all going to change. It's all going down the shitter. I was lucky to have it, and that's it now for life. I'm not going to get this back. But with a lot of things in life, what I've realised is it does come back, and it is only temporary, and life changes, and it's meant to change. And the reason life's meant to change is because you're meant to feel different emotions. You're meant to have different experiences. You're not meant to just stay in one place, comfortable. And that's what you're searching for. That's what you want. You want that comfortable feeling again. You want that life that you once had that felt so great. But the odds are, when you was experiencing that life before your kids, you didn't feel that way. Most people don't feel, oh, I've got it. I've got this perfect life. I know for me, even though I've just said it, I don't feel it 24/7. I don't feel it every moment of the day. But I know it's there as an underlying feeling. But what you got now is an appreciation for the life you used to have, for what you used to live day by day, that you couldn't see in that moment. I have the exact same thing about living at home, moving out, getting your own home. Absolutely phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. Love living with my girlfriend. Love having my 2 dogs. Love where I live. Love the house that I have. But God, I miss home. God, I miss that life. God, I miss being around my family all the time. God, I miss the alone time that I could have in an easier way. God, I love not having so many responsibilities. I've got more people in the household to pick up the slack, to pick up the jobs, that when I was at home, it's not even a thought or an idea to do washing, to clean and hoover the full house. And I know it's not the same as having kids, but that's how I relate in a way, because I know it's the same feeling. Because you're thinking of life that you used to have, that you don't have anymore, and it's gone. That's what it feels like. It's gone forever. And that's what that feels like to me. And because I've had so many years where I didn't see it, where I didn't appreciate it, it kills me even more inside that I almost wasted that time, that I wasted the opportunity to enjoy my life in that moment so much. And I wonder if that's a little bit what you're having as well. Oh God, remember the times when we could just do this, this and this without having this responsibility, without thinking about the logistics? You're craving that time before. And you probably almost feel like you're not ready to step into this life that you've got now and to let go of the past and what you had. It's fucking hard. But that's what I tell myself. Listen, that part of your life is over. That exact situation that we're talking about, for me and for you, it's over. And it's hard to admit that, but it doesn't mean life's going to become shit. That happiness and peace is gone forever. You're just in a moment where everything's changed, a moment of limbo, a moment where you're not comfortable, a moment where you don't know what the fuck's going on, you're erratic, everything's up in the air. And the reason I can say that is because that's what I felt when I moved into the house for a long time. And that's moving into a house, so I cannot even imagine what it must be like to have kids. You know, it's one thing that puts me off of doing it right now. That life, that freedom. I can go on holiday. It can be cheaper holidays. I've got more money for me and me and my girlfriend to do things. It's comfortable. You've got less responsibility. You've got more fucking time. There are priorities in my life. My health. I can focus on going to the gym. I can focus on spending my money to eat healthily. I've got time to myself. I can watch programs. The little time that I have, I feel, how the hell can I add a child into my situation when I struggle to add friends into my situation, to spend time out in the world? I feel already limited in time. How the hell can I add a kid? Because I know how much time and love that child's got to have in his life. So to me, it's a little bit of panic of like, I couldn't imagine introducing a child into this. And that panic is that life changes. Life turns upside down. And that's what kids do. And I have the exact same feeling. Everyone says it's worth it. And I go, the life right now is pretty fucking good. And I feel guilty that one day I'm going to have the same thoughts that you're having. And what I realize is they're so fucking normal. They're so normal. The jokes I have growing up with my parents are that I'm a fucking burden. My dad used to have hair. My dad used to be skinny before this age. The jokes that are thrown at me emphasize the sacrifice you have to put in as a parent. And maybe you've not reached that point where you know it's worth it yet. And what I always suggest when it comes to parenting advice, being a parent, look at your parents. Ask your parents, honestly, tell me, is it worth it? They probably won't hesitate in saying, listen, it is. It's absolutely worth it. And maybe that comes when your kid's 30, 40. When they have kids and there's a bit of calmness. Maybe you're just in that high responsibility zone where you've got to really look after your kid. And it's just this moment right now. And another part of this is when you step out of that, you might have that appreciation again for when you get a bit more free time, when you get less responsibility, when your old life starts creeping back in and you start adding, I'm going to go back to the gym. Maybe we can go on holiday. Maybe we can go on holiday, just me and you. Maybe we can go on a date night. Maybe I can have a bit of alone time. Maybe I can watch what I want to watch on TV. Maybe I could have a bit of a rest, slow it down a bit, and don't rush to get out of the moment that you're in right now. Because to know that it's gonna pass, maybe you can sit and appreciate the moment that you're in ask that with other parents. The thing is, with this example, you've got so many people to talk to because so many people in the world have parents that have done it or are going through it. Ask them, remember those tough moments? How do you feel about them now? All right, you're glad that they're over, but do you have a hint of missing it a bit? You reminisce on the memories of when your kids were young, the good times, how innocent your kid was, how cute he was, you know? How you've seen that human go from a baby to an adult. Maybe that's the bit that's worth it, the journey that you can see, the person you can see the child turning into, right or wrong. And it's where you look, it's always where you look. And you've got to try and find value in things. And it's not look at it in a positive way. You know, it's not lie to yourself and say everything's fine. It's all great. It's see the value because there's always value. Most of the time it's appreciation and gratitude. In every situation, there's a minimum of that value. Appreciating and having gratitude for the life that you've lived before this moment that's happening. And for the future, appreciate when that time comes. And not only that, I mean, I've not mentioned the foundation for a while, but how are you eating, sleeping, and are you training? Are these just temporary emotions because you're tired? Because you've ate shit? Because you've not been to the gym? What's your mental state like? I think we all know you don't actually mean it when you say you don't think you love your kid. Or you hate the situation in a sense. You're tired of it. And all that's happening is it's a bit too much right now for you and you need to relieve a little bit of pressure. Right now, it is that tough moment. The moment that we've built ourselves up to be resilient, to be tough. It's happening right now. You're in that moment. That's to me what I train for in the gym. When your heart rate goes a little bit too high, when you're sweating a bit too much, when you're breathing a bit too heavy, when your muscles have got weak, and you hit that wall, what tools have you built up through exercise? That's how I think of it. That prepare yourself for the tough moments in life. And sometimes it's not such an intense wall that you hit. Sometimes for me, it's not a wall, it's weights on my back. All right, now we're getting a bit heavy. Now we're starting to struggle, we're coming up to it. And you never reach that wall, but you think, this is heavy now, you know what I mean? We need a rest. We're going to carry on, but God, this is, you know, we're mentally pushing ourselves, and you've got that voice in the back of your head that's saying quit. But what you realize every single time, if you have that experience exercising, which is why I love it, because every time you do, you realize that after it is worth it, that after it did all work out, it was worth it, it felt great, and you look back at that suffering, that trouble, the little bit of trauma, and you say, you know, I love who it's made me into. None of us want to force uncomfortable situations on ourselves, that force trauma on ourselves. But every time we go through a situation and we come through the other side, you look at yourself and you say, who have I become? And if you don't take that time to reflect and to think deeply, obviously I think so deep in life, a bit too deep, too often, but some people don't think enough about life and reflect enough on what the fuck you're actually doing. You're raising a fucking human. That stranger you pass in the street is a child to someone. That hero, that famous person, that role model for so many was a child once, has parents that made mistakes, parents that probably felt the same as you at some point. And we don't correlate that. We don't correlate what a child growing up into an adult actually is. Me, I was once a child. I was once that person that you're struggling and talking about. And it's almost too big of an idea for us to think about all the time and to have there. And the scale of it. You know, to us, it's just one person, but everyone goes through this. And by everyone going through this, we then have a society. And the thing with this is you're not alone. Even though this situation feels so unique and special and like you are alone and it's just you going through this and it's just you that has these thoughts that you got to keep in your head, you're not. You won't be. All these kid and parent events that you're talking about that you got to put on a brave face, everyone's putting on a brave face. Everyone's thinking about the life they used to live. Oh, how good it was. How much responsibility we've got now. Everyone's thinking the same thing. No one's saying it because everyone feels guilty about it. And we need to stop doing that. We need to be able to admit that we are struggling and it is tough. There's a lot of responsibility to make a little human turn out fucking right. Because there are so many examples in the world where it didn't turn out right. So there's that pressure. And that pressure is essential for society, for it to become a good society. For people to become good. The pressure you've got and the responsibility and the logistics has a purpose. That child is going to turn out as good as you. Bare minimum decent. I do just think it's a moment you're going through where you need a release of pressure. And even just admitting what you're saying must feel good. And to be able to talk to someone else and for someone else to say, fuck me, I feel exactly the same way. Yeah, no, sometimes I wonder if it's worth it. Deep down, you know it's worth it. You're just struggling. Just going through a tough moment. What does your partner think? Does your partner think the same thing? And it's not that you don't love the kid. It's just that it's tough. And tough moments build the love. The sacrifice that you're putting into a child turns into love. Without that sacrifice, you don't love the child. You know you've got a commitment here because you've sacrificed. You know you can be all in because you've sacrificed. But it's okay. Everything's fine. It's fine to have these thoughts. It's fine to talk about these thoughts and have a little caveat on top and say, I still love the kid, I'm just venting. Sometimes it's all right to fucking vent. Sometimes it's all right to have your little comments. Sure, even if the kid hears it and it affects the kid, when they grow up and have their own kid, they'll realise, oh shit, what my parents went through. How much they actually did for me. Or most people, a lot of people, should I say, not most people, but some people think the parents don't love them, that they don't show their affection for them. Maybe it's because you don't see it yet. You're not in their shoes to go, oh, this is what my parents did for me. This is what they sacrificed for me. A lot of parents sacrifice dreams for the kids. They sacrifice pleasure. And we all see it as, in a sense, they should do, but they don't have to. And they do. Parents do sacrifice a lot for the kids. So as a kid, we need to appreciate it because one day we're going to be in their shoes. And that's all. Maybe that's what this serves a purpose of. Maybe you weren't appreciating your parents as much as you should do because of what they went through. This is more common than you think. So you can say it out loud. Laugh and joke about it with your parents if they're still there. Or with friends who don't have kids. Laugh about it with them because when they get to this point, they're going to remember what the fuck you said. They're not going to feel alone in this. Everyone around you is keeping this secret in. It'll be worth it in the end. Yeah, you don't see it because these people haven't told you and haven't shown you how difficult it actually is. I mean, even if it can be explained, can you explain this feeling? Most of the time you can't until you're actually in it, and you can have that realization of, oh, this is what it means. You know, parenting isn't an easy thing. Sometimes there's that big a reward at the end of it that it's that difficult in the moment of it. It's hard to see it. It's hard to see the reward. But in the end, it is anything difficult that you do, anything this difficult that you're going to do is going to have a reward because you're going to sacrifice so much. And in this situation, if you sacrifice so much, it can only turn out so well. It can only turn out great because sacrificing is the love. Having that responsibility is love. This is how much you love your kid because this is what you're willing to do. You're willing to struggle this much. And that's why it's okay to say sometimes that this is a lot, that you don't know if it's worth it. You can say all that, but just keep going. Don't obviously ever give up. And not giving up is the proof that you love your kid. And you can say whatever you need to say because the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the actions, is in the sacrifice that you're doing. But yeah, don't have kids. But I can relate to it and I know that feeling. And I know that feeling. And when it comes along, I'm going to feel exactly the same. I know I am. But yeah, peace.